Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into a topic that's got fans everywhere buzzing.
Yeah,
The potential Season 3 of Solo Leveling. It's highly anticipated, right?
absolutely.
We've got this really interesting article here from Hypermanca. It's called Solo Leveling Season 3, News, Rumors, and What's Next.
Hmm.
And our mission today, really, is to dig into that, pull out the key takeaways so you could be properly informed about, well, what might be next for Sung Jin-woo.
That's right. And look, despite how huge this thing is globally, there's been no official, confirmation for season 3. Not yet, anyway.
Right.
Just to recap quickly for everyone. Season 1, that dropped January 2024, then season 2 followed in January 2025.
And there was that compilation film, too, Reawakening, late 2024.
Exactly. But yeah, since the season 2 finale, which was March 30th, 2025, it's been pretty quiet on the official front for season 3.
Okay, so official silence, but you still feel this buzz, this optimism. Where's that coming from? Are there real signs pointing to more?
Well, yeah, and what's really fascinating is how direct some of the hints have actually been, especially from, key people in the industry.
Like who?
Okay, so take Mitchell Berger. He's Crunchyroll's head of theatrical and distribution. Pretty senior guy.
Yeah.
He was quoted saying, we just concluded season 2, which did really well for us, so I'm sure there will be more content in the future.
I'm sure there will be more content.
Mm.
That sounds pretty strong, even if it's not the green light itself.
Exactly. It's about as close as you can get without making it official. It signals, strong intent. They clearly liked how season 2 performed.
Okay. And wasn't the Crunchyroll president, Rahul Parini, also saying something similar?
He was, yeah. He echoed that optimism. When someone asked him directly about season 3, his response was, "We hope so."
We hope so.
Yeah, and he added a bit of context, explaining that the creators are kind of juggling several anime projects right now, so they need the right timing for production.
Right, but we hope so.
Mm.
That still feels a little, I don't know, non-committal. How much weight does that really carry in industry speak?
That's a fair point. Look, phrases like "we hope so" are pretty standard. They let companies sort of test the waters, build hype, gauge fan reaction.
Without actually promising anything yet?
Precisely. It manages expectations. It suggests the desires there, definitely. But things like schedules, creator availability, those are real hurdles they have to consider.
Makes sense. So beyond the execs talking, what else? You mentioned fascinating hints, maybe from the production side.
Absolutely. And this kind of gets into how much fan power actually matters these days. It's quite
Wow.
interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, there was this really direct appeal from the show's producers themselves, Sota Furuhashi and Atsushi Kaneko. They did a Reddit Q&A,
Okay.
and they basically told fans, if we're going to make a season 3, it's going to take all the support and energy from the fans. They even compared it to the Spirit Bomb from Dragon Ball.
Wow, the spirit bomb. So gathering energy from everyone.
Exactly. It's such a perfect metaphor, right? Fans uniting their support. And honestly, it highlights this growing trend where platforms and studios, they really look at fan engagement.
You mean like how many people are watching, talking about it online, buying merch, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, all that. Viewership numbers, social media buzz, merch sales. That's all becoming critical data when they decide whether to greenlight more seasons. It's not just ratings anymore.
That spirit bomb thing is wild, though. Suggesting fan action could literally make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's put the fan power aside for just a sec. Timelines. That's the big question for a lot of people, right? When? Is this happening soon, or are we settling in for a bit of a wait?
Yeah, you're right to ask that. And, well, folks might need to practice some patience here. The expert predictions, based on how things usually go, they're putting the release window for season 3 somewhere between, say, late 2026 and maybe early 2028.
Late 2026 to early 2028. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's potentially quite a gap.
Yeah.
Why so long?
Well, it's not just about juggling projects, so that's part of it. It's also the sheer time it takes to make this level of animation look good.
Right, the quality is insane.
Exactly. We're talking maybe 10 to 12 months per episode. That covers everything: storyboarding, layouts, key animation, the in-betweens, post-production. It all adds up.
10 to 12 months per episode. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that puts it in perspective.
Plus, the director, Nakashe Shinsuke, he might be tied up with other big projects too, and it really comes down to A1 Pictures' philosophy as well.
It is.
They prioritize super high-quality animation. The article explicitly says they don't cut corners. That commitment, that focus on visual excellence, it just means a longer production cycle. It's a deliberate choice.
That commitment is definitely something fans appreciate in the final product, but
Yeah.
wow, wait, is there a risk, maybe, that such a long gap could lose some of the momentum the show has built?
That's always a concern, yeah. Keeping an audience engaged over potentially a couple of years, that's tough for any show.
For sure.
But, it seems like the producers are aware of this,
Yeah.
which brings us right back to that direct appeal they made.
The spirit bomb again. So if fans really are the key, what can they actually, do while they wait? How do they show that support and maybe keep things buzzing?
Yeah, the producers were pretty clear. Keep that passion visible. It's about showing the studio, showing Crunchyroll that the demand is still there, strong as ever.
So practical things.
Like sharing fan art online, tweeting about the show, use the hashtags, Even just rewatching episodes on Crunchyroll helps boost those streaming numbers.
Ah, the numbers game.
It is, partly. All that activity translates into data that the studios pay attention to. It's about keeping the fandom vibrant, showing there's still a huge appetite for more.
Okay, so wrapping this up then, what's the main takeaway for you listening right now? It sounds like basically Sung Jinwoo's journey might be on pause for a bit.
A temporary pause, yeah.
But the signs from industry players, like at Crunchyroll, and that direct plea from the production team, it strongly suggests it's not over. The story isn't finished.
Right. And, if we kind of zoom out and look at the bigger picture here, it's pretty fascinating how producers, like the Solo Leveling team, are now explicitly asking for fan support, comparing it to the old way things were done.
Yeah, it's different from just waiting for network execs to decide behind closed doors.
Exactly. It's almost like they're making the audience active partners, not just passive viewers, but actual stakeholders in whether the show continues. Which really raises a big question for you to think about. In today's whole media world, how much influence do you reckon fan passion and direct engagement, like tweets and rewatches, truly have on whether shows like this get more seasons? It feels like the audience might hold more power than ever before. Something to mull over.